Like to call the Board of Trustees, Village of Weston to order. We could all stand and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag,
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Turn the mics on. It was really, I was back there too, and it was really hard to see. I'm glad Jim brought that mic up here. Go that way. It's really good when it's underneath those green mics up here. But really, we need either another set or we need microphones across here. So I think staff ought to take a look at that. It's just really difficult when Steve Minell was talking, even Barb was talking. Some people have a very better voice that carries, and I think mine does. But it's just not fair to a lot of the residents back there. Jim, thank you for bringing that mic up. Let's see. We're moving right into a roll call. Sorry, I jumped the gun there. So
Maloney.
here.
Cronin.
Here.
Ermeling. Here. Jordan.
Here.
Hope Sarab.
Here.
Sagami.
Okay, thank you all. Number 4, trustee vacancy interviews. Let's see, the order of interviews will be determined by the random drawing of the names of the meeting. I don't see a bowl up here with a bunch of names in it, so I understand we have one name that put forward. I believe it's Mark Kearns. And Mark, Jamie's gonna be going through a set of questions. If you wanna take your seat there and state your name and address for the record, if you could.
My name is Mark Kern, live at 5405 Rock Rapids Drive, Weston, Wisconsin.
Okay, thank you. Jamie?
Great. So we have,
Just real quick, if anyone asks any questions, okay, I don't have to say that. You have to ask the same question to the next candidate. So we only have one, so, all right, go ahead.
what motivated you to submit an application for the trustee vacancy?
I did it a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, for the last trustee vacancy. And when this one came up, I thought, well, I'm gonna give it another shot. So, the motivation was actually, this is kind of like deja vu, but the motivation was my wife. She told me that if I wanted to make changes around me, I needed to do something and basically get off my butt to do it. So therefore, I'm doing it.
Thanks for keeping it clean. What do you believe is the greatest strength of the village?
I think the village strength is where it's located, its location. And I really, for myself and my wife, I enjoy the recreational stuff that we have around. The river trail is like, I love the river trail. We walk it all the time. And all of Weston, its location is by far probably the best thing about it. You can even see the mountain from Weston, depending on where you go.
What is something that you feel needs improvement in the village? And if appointed as trustee, how would you work to improve it?
I think that like in any area, I personally feel that we need to improve, get more business into our community. I think everyone does. Everyone wants more business. Business can bring revenue, it can bring people, it can bring restaurants, it can bring all the other things that everyone else wants. But I think that we need to bring more business in. And I'm not sure how I would do that, but I know I would work diligently to try and either sway some committees or whatever would need to be done to get businesses in here.
How would you handle a situation where a member of the community contacted you directly and was unhappy with a service the board approved and the village provided?
I would first figure out why they feel that it wasn't the correct service. My thought is that if the board approved it, there was some rationale behind it that maybe the person doesn't fully understand. I'd first try to empathize with them, try and figure out where they're coming from. And then if I could no longer get anywhere with it, I guess I would have to bring it up to the board at one of the board meetings and have the whole board address it. And I will go back to the constituent and tell them what we decided.
What skills are you most excited to share with the board and Village of Weston community?
I have a great background in construction and engineering. So I'd really like to showcase those skills that I have. I also have I'm a green belt in process improvement, Six Sigma, so I've always tried to do better and grow. And I do have a lot of skills. I don't want to brag, but I do.
Why do you think this opportunity to serve is a good fit for you?
Because I think I have something I can offer to the community and I can improve the community as an individual. Like I said, a lot of us, we sit on the sideline and we never get off. I think I finally come to the conclusion that I need to get up and I need to get off the sidelines. That's where I'm at.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mark. The next section here is number 5, discussion and action on the appointment of a candidate to fill the trustee vacancy for the unexpired term ending April 20th, 2026. Any discussion? Joe, anything?
I have no other questions, Mark.
Okay. No. All right, let's see, I'll entertain a motion. Mark Kern, Kern.
I make a motion to appoint Mark Kern to the vacancy of the trustee position.
Ending in April of 2026.
Yes.
Okay, is there a second? Second by Hushain Zagami. On the discussion, any more discussion, even though there was none? No discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. Welcome aboard.
If you wanted to come up to the front, Clerk Brame will issue you the oath of office right away. Lieutenant Maloney, you'll grab a picture?
Yep.
I'll stand over here, so you can get a good picture. I'll just have you, use your right hand, and I'll give it to you, and then you can just respond to it. I, Mark Kern, having been appointed to the office of trustee for the Village of Weston, but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof, swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability, so help me God.
I do.
So I just. Okay, and then just come sit here. I've got you set up with some stuff for the meeting, and then the agenda's.
All right. Public comments. I've got several here and I'm just in the order I took them. I'll just call your name, Cindy Russell. I've got you as the first one that up here. I want to remind everyone that we're running a little late and it's a 3-minute time limit. Thank you.
Cindy Russell, excuse me, Cindy Russell, 5907 Tricia Avenue. In the amended conditions and issues volume of the comprehensive plan amended December 16, 2024, residents were provided a list of 10 potential projects the village might prioritize over the next 5 or 10 years. The top projects include improving road sections for safety, building sidewalks on busy streets, widening roads in the village district, and better internet. The residents were also asked what would be the most common advice for the village of Weston. The top 4 responses were: attract more jobs to industries, commercial services, and retail opportunities. 2, keep taxes and fees low by raising property values, growing business, and avoid wasteful, unnecessary spending. 3, preserving Weston's small town feel instead of replicating Wausau. And 4, boost public safety and emergency services. Let's do a review of actions taken by the board. Number 1, use ARPA funds to pay for $900,000 in playground equipment, which was second to last on the community survey. Yet, the economic developer is budgeting $35,000 to update this very plan in 2026, despite not following the old one. 2, the village spent $60,000 in consulting fees for a bicycle pedestrian plan using TAP grant funding of $48,000, with the village spending $12,000. This wasn't even considered a priority by the residents. Consideration is further being given for consulting fees, not to exceed $60,000 in the budget. More wasteful spending, and again, not listed by the residents as a priority. 3, keep property taxes down and fees down. The board has failed the village with raising property taxes and now raising fees instead of using huge fund balances in the budget. 4, ignored to provide support for public safety and emergency service needs through wasteful spending. Instead, the board funded over $1 million for Kennedy Park renovation, which is at the bottom of the community survey. Please refocus on safety, roads, jobs, and fiscal sense. Use the huge fund balances or borrow to accomplish priorities set by the residents within the community. Those in favor of my comments, please stand up. Let the record show 7 people agreed with my comments tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Pincinel, number 2.
Good evening, Jim Penson, 5002 Arrow Street. Welcome to the newest appointed member of the board. Under the direction and leadership of Mark Maloney, your appointment has officially made the dynamic of this board designed to represent the people of Weston 57% appointed. I do not believe there's another village board in the state of Wisconsin who has 57% of their makeup consisting of appointed individuals. Congratulations on making history in the state. I want to again ask this board why there's not been any investigation into the malfeasance relating to the action taken by the Weston Board of Trustees July 14, 2024. Over a year ago, I sat at the table in front of me and voted to approve official language for exceeding the state of Wisconsin levy limits for the purpose of maintaining current fire protection staffing services. It passed unanimously. There was a second motion made by Cronin to amend that motion and delay the resolution exceeding state of Wisconsin levy limit for the purpose of maintaining current fire protection staffing services until the spring election of 25. That also passed 7-0. That referendum question never made it onto the spring 2025 ballot. And now here we are to witness a board who has a majority of its members appointed, not elected by the people of Weston, mandate a perpetual blank check for a fire tax because no one was held accountable to do their job, and put the referendum question on the spring 2025 ballot. This is completely shameful and unacceptable. It's no wonder there is pending litigation against the village of Weston on the agenda for discussion in closed session tonight. Furthermore, I would like to point out this fun fact. Stephen Cronin sits on the Safer Board of Directors. He is also employed by the fire department. He's a paid per call member of the organization. He participates in training with them and is paid for his work when he responds to a call. I see that this is a perfect example of how there is absolutely no regard for conflicts of interest in this room. Mark Maloney is well aware of this condition. He has chosen not to remove Mr. Cronin from the board of directors, even though I personally mentioned this conflict of interest to him more than 6 months ago when I learned of it. Yet Cronin actively participates in both the Safer Board of Director meetings and the Village Board of Trustee meetings, specifically relating to the funding and operational decisions of the fire department. How is this remotely acceptable? I would venture to guess that our newest appointed trustee is unaware of this, and I would bet most of the people in the chairs sitting behind me are unaware of this. The village attorney should weigh in here. if there is legitimate legal conflict of interest, or if this is just a moral and ethical violation by participating, voting, and making decisions on the funding of a government that you have of a department that you have a direct financial relationship to. If nothing else, the rest of us should be reminded at every meeting, hey, I'm Steve, and just so you know, I'm on the Safer Board of Directors, and I work for and train with the fire department. So my opinion on these decisions will not be fair, impartial, and unbiased. But Jim, how can you say that? Well, allow me to bring receipts, because that's what I do. Last two, it's very important.
3 o'clock, 3 minutes is up. Okay,
You're really,
Thank you.
I have one paragraph.
I am holding you to 3 minutes. You bet. You wasted enough time. Thank you.
Wasted?
Yep, wasted.
You bet.
Wow.
Yep, there's a lot of stories that aren't being said that just talked about. Number 3. 3 minutes is 3 minutes. Mara Mergendal. You're number 3, thank you. You can state your name and address for the record, please.
Mara Mergendal,
Thank you.
7101 Comanchick Street. I am an introvert. I hate public speaking, but this is not the first time that I have had to come here advocating for things that I believe to be worthwhile because I don't feel this board prioritizes what matters most to residents. Sometimes decisions feel rushed with a growth for growth's sake mentality. The farmers market is one of the few places where Weston truly comes together. Its current location is ideal. Plenty of parking, easy and safe access, and right at a busy intersection. That kind of visibility draws in customers who might not otherwise make a special trip, and that visibility matters for our local farmers and makers. Replacing it with a Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins doesn't feel like growth. It feels like trading away what makes Weston unique. We already have a Dunkin', which likely benefits from market day traffic. And putting a national ice cream chain across the street from Bricks, a local business with deep roots and a great reputation, that's in poor taste, and it undermines the very businesses that make this place special. I also see a missed opportunity with this municipality building. It could have been designed with a public gathering space in mind for markets, craft fairs, and community events. That's the kind of investment that builds pride and strengthens our local community. Now, instead, we're talking about moving the farmers market to Kennedy, a park that's an unfunded construction zone, or to a backlot space that will increase traffic congestion. You're even debating restricting left turns on East Jelnik as a safety issue, but somehow this new market location doesn't raise concerns. Growth isn't about how many franchises we can line up along our roads. It doesn't come from handing prime space to national chains. That money leaves town the moment it's spent. Real growth is investing in our neighbors and farmers, bakers, crafters, and families who reinvest right back into Weston. The farmers market is proof of that. If we want a stronger economy and a stronger identity, we need to champion local people, not franchise logos. Please keep the market where it is, where it thrives, and where Weston thrives with it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, number 4, we have Katrina Clark.
Katrina Clark, 4032 Campbell Road. So I'm going to speak tonight as both a citizen and so everyone knows that I sit on the Parks and Rec Committee as well as Clips. So the previous comment just proves my point in what I wanted to say tonight, in that Weston has a PR nightmare going on right now, in my opinion. And I am part of you guys, so I'm being critical of everyone tonight. The post that was put on Facebook, which I'm guessing many of you are not even aware of, was so poorly worded that people think Weston, you guys, us, me, have an option of keeping the market where it's at, which is not the case at all. I tried to correct that in the post that I added to the Facebook post, but this just highlights the danger in what is going on when we make public statements that don't have truth and clarity. If we don't step back as a group of leaders and think about what we're saying to the public and how they're going to perceive the information that we're giving to them, this is the mess that we end up with. There are 67 comments, likes, or reactions to this one Facebook post. So it's not that the community is not engaged with us in what is going on. It's that we are giving them bad information to react to. And so now we have lots of angry people who think we're putting up a building to put the farmer's market in, which is so far from the truth, but that's what people took from that post. And so my want for all of us who are in leadership positions in the village of Weston is to be engaged with the people who are reacting to this post. And I don't know if we need to reach out to these people or if we need to be much more careful about the posts or things that we say in public so that we are not creating this mess, because all we're doing is pissing off people and there's nothing to be pissed off about. Now, I'd also like to add briefly, I will send this information to you guys. I'm not gonna take the time to read it. The number of comments that people put in other places than Kennedy Park, no one wants the farmer's market at Kennedy Park next year. They gave many other options, which I think we all need to look at as a group and consider, because the people have spoken and we need to listen to what they're saying.
Thank you, Katrina. Good comments. Let's see, number 5, Lisa Beck.
Lisa Beck, 1808 Cortez Lane. I came here, I think, last month and talked a little bit about the fire fee, and this will not be a 3-minute thing about the fire fee. But I did go to several meetings to, I guess, become more informed about how you guys are spending money, how you guys are voting, you know, where things are going on. Very, very informative. I will say some notes are a lot better than other notes. Village board, sometimes it's a little hard to follow, you know, what you're saying. I think when people are talking the fire fee, I see a lot of miscommunication going on. Because people aren't here to kind of maybe hear what I'm hearing when I went to the Safer Board to see what they're presenting. I don't think that the village itself and the residents, I think you're seeing like two different things. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. So I don't know of a better way to maybe convey some of the information that you guys are talking about. I know, like I mentioned in the finance meeting, we read the wire, like when it comes out, a lot of discussion could be put in there, more factual numbers, even when it comes to like the fire fee. I don't think people are disagreeing necessarily that you need help. I think that's kind of standard. I think where people are coming from their aspect, they don't know what they don't know. So if we get the grant, how much to me as a resident is that gonna go up 1, 2, 3, 4 years? We know residents in the area, we know businesses in the area, we know what the grant would cover. So to me, how much would that be? So I think we need to get better communication and kind of look at factual information, not voting with our hearts. That I've heard in some meetings that we want to vote with our heart, we can't vote with our heart. We want to do what's best for the residents, but sometimes we have to look the money side of it. So I'm hoping that maybe we can come together over the next couple of months and get better information to the public, so they're understanding a clear point of what the fire fee is entailing, or the garbage is entailing, or the Kennedy Park is entailing. We're hearing all of this miscommunication out there. So I am not in favor of the fire fee as it was proposed, because I feel like that should have been addressed last year on the referendum and brought up. But I don't think people are disagreeing that we need more help. It's how is that gonna come up? How does that affect us? So I'm asking for a little better communication as a resident.
Please,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Any more comments that I didn't get notice on, or anybody online?
No, but I think you had some written correspondence too.
I do. I've got, well, I have not been reading into the record, but these will be introduced into the record. And we've got an email from a Michael Franks in support of the fire fee. We have an email here from a Lois Hayduk in support. We have a email from a Gene Franks in support. Wesley Latimer in support. and a Sue and Tom Weimer Skirch in support. These will all be submitted into the record, like past letters have been when they weren't able to come and read them into the record themselves. I think everybody at the board level here has a copy of this, but they'll be in the next set of minutes, so, okay?
Did you look, are they Weston residents?
They're all Safer residents. So there are some Weston and some Rib Mountain residents. I know the one I received today from Sue and Tom Weimerskirch, that's the couple that lost their house last year up on, less than a mile away from the Rib Mountain, Fire Department. And, we probably had about 60 or 70 people come in and, chat with the Safer, board that night, or after that, about a month and a half later. And several have been continuing too, so they heard about this fee structure being talked about and they wanted to write some letters and emails in support. So yes, I mean, I wasn't trying to hide that, but good question. So those will be in the next set of minutes. No more public comments? No? Okay. Minutes from previous meetings. Number 7, approval of August 18th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting. What's your pleasure? Motion to approve by Ermeling,
Second.
second by Cronin. Anything on the question? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Acknowledge reports, minutes from boards, committees, and commissions. How do you want to handle?
Motion to acknowledge items number 9, 10B, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Motion to acknowledge by Cronin. Is there a second?
I'll make a second comment.
Second by Ermeling. Now on the discussion.
Okay, the finance committee did not approve the minutes because there was some correction that had to be made,
Okay.
and they are bringing it back.
Okay, did we catch that, Pam?
I.
So the finance and the human resources was not approved. And it's it's on.
So,
Yeah, there's no green light on this one, like this one. I don't know why.
Just gotta just be.
Oh, it's working. Yeah, it's working.
it's working. I wasn't involved, I don't know.
Okay, maybe it's a little closer, yeah. Okay.
All right.
So you just want that correction in the,
Yes, the fact that the finance meeting minutes were not approved, they were referred to the next meeting because there was some error in the minutes.
And the updated copy can be put into next month. Several of the minutes are draft, right? So there could be
Right.
changes made at committee.
any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Acknowledge reports from departments, one at a time. 20 administrator, anything more to add?
I just wanted to point out in the report, it was asked when it was approved that staff would track hours with the Wassa event concert off the square. And I have in there that staff had 28 hours contributed to help Wassa events put concert on the square, concert off the square on.
Okay, good. Any more for administrator? 21 clerk. Pam, anything you want to add?
No, nothing more.
Any discussion, any questions for clerk? Thank you. 22 finance. Jessica, anything to add?
Yeah, I was gonna add, so at the finance committee, there was a public comment and I was trying to figure out where they came from and I realized they're the vouchers that are in the board packets. So the comment was about the better bin, that's our recycling. With the recycling grant that we received, some of it is spent on marketing and that better bin is our marketing expense for our recycling. Another question was regarding the lawn mowing. When I looked at that, that was split between water, sewer, and TIF. So the village has always hired out the lawn mowing for the water and sewer department. We don't have a staff for that. TIF is also hired out. There is discussion whether the village staff will take over the areas of the TIF once the TIF closes, but that's still up for grabs. And the last one was clothing allowance. All street maintenance and parks get a clothing allowance along with the utilities. So it's just part of the handbook of the employees for that they get a winter clothing allowance.
Okay, thank you. Any more for Jessica? No? All right, moving on to 23, fire and EMS. Chief,
I don't have anything to add unless there's any questions.
any questions for the chief? Okay, thank you. 24, park and rec.
Report in the packet, if you have any questions on current projects, et cetera.
Okay, any questions? Thank you. 25, plan development, Jennifer?
Just a clarification, the Better Bin app is actually an educational app. So basically, we have access to an app where residents who have this app on their phone can actually take and use their camera as a barcode scanner to see if that is actually recyclable or not. So it's a database and it kind of builds a database. So it's an educational tool. I do want to clarify too, on one of the comments with the comprehensive plan, that survey is from 2015. So the reason that we're going to be doing the comprehensive plan is to update everything and get that, a new survey will be going out.
Okay. Any more comments, any questions? 26, chief.
Yeah, just a couple comments. The request was made about adding traffic stops to our report. So those are in there. The addition wasn't on there, so it's 473 for the month. We have our Halloween party coming up on October 10th, so it's open and free to families and great event, so still trying to push that. That's at the DC Everest.
Middle school?
Yeah, middle school,
Middle school.
out there by Highway J, correct?
Same as last year?
Yep.
Okay, that was a great event.
So that's all I have.
Okay, any questions for the chief? Okay. Thank you. 27, public works, Michael.
Should be getting some pavement down on streets this week, so.
Can you name the streets?
Shorey and then several of the overlays will start getting paved this week, so.
When do you think Schofield will start?
Curb will be back in this week and then sidewalk and the rest of the concrete work, so it's. I think probably about 3 weeks start to get more pavement on the south side there, 3-4 weeks.
Masker's looking good too. Yeah. All right, any questions? More for Michael? Let's see, 20, technology, other than the mics?
Yeah, and then I also had a piece in the report regarding some of our options going forward with our public meetings. I'll probably put something more formal together because we probably should talk about that once it's agendized.
Do we have a mic at the table?
Oh,
That's what we use here. Okay, as long as we have a portable one or something for the residents too. But, you know, I thought these worked okay at first. You know, maybe these two have to get pushed back and maybe two in the front, but I'm telling you for up here, I think we just need mics for everybody. So I've been to quite a few other municipalities and I can't think of any that don't have mics. So, okay, I think that'd be a good addition.
It's also just a good reminder to project, right? To look up and to look out and to project your voice too.
And some do, some don't. Steve Minell, I think he's still here, maybe not. But you know, Steve is a little bit more soft spoken. I'm very loud and some of us just aren't. And I think a mic will help. It'll help the residents, that's for sure, or the audience. All right, thank you. Anything for technology, anything from me? None? All right. We need an acknowledgement for reports from departments, please.
I move to acknowledge items 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28.
Motion by Lopez. Is there a second by?
I'll second that motion.
Second by Turner. Any more on the discussion?
First one.
Yep, I know. I was gonna say it and I thought somebody's gonna say it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Work product transmittals, 29, 30, and 31. You wanna do them all the same or separate?
I'll make a motion to approve 29, 30, and 30, acknowledge 29, 30, and 31.
Okay, we have a motion to acknowledge by Ermeling, 29, 30, and 31.
I'll second.
Second by Kern. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, so carried. Let's see, 32. Approve vouchers, checks numbers 65091 through 65267 and 90216 to 90219.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Ermeling,
I second.
second by Lopes. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Ordinance 35, ordinance number 25-013, an ordinance to approve the rezoning of lots 37 through 46 and 63 through 72 of the proposed preliminary plat of Granite Ridge located south of Mary Lane and Old Costa Lane from SF-6, SF-S, single-family residential small lot to 2F, two-family residential zoning district, Village of Weston, Marathon County, Wisconsin.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Cronin. Second by Zagami. On the discussion, and this went through planning commission?
Correct.
Okay, on the 8th.
So this is going to be basically, kind of duplex area,
No,
No.
just along the highway.
So it'll be that buffer effect.
Just
So on the
where that-
highway, yep, the highway will be duplex.
okay,
And then it'll come into single family into the rest of the residential area.
okay,
Jamie has it up on the screen.
It's up in the.
okay.
So
Yeah, twin home.
Twin homes, okay, that's
if
a good.
you know, if you follow down to the Brems addition, the Brems addition is all single family except for bordering the highway. And it's kind of a buffer zone. Yep. So it's all over the village is how that's done, so. Okay. Mhm. And is there someone here today? Yep, I thought so. You brought all your papers. So, any more on discussion? Any questions to the developer? Went through a planning commission, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. You came prepared. All right, thank you. 36, ordinance number 25-014, an ordinance to approve the rezoning of parcels of land located at 3802 Schofield Avenue and 5510 Camp Phillips Road in the village of Weston from B2 Highway Business and MF Multiple Family to PD Planned Development District and amend an associated general development plan. Pleasure.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Cronin,
I'll second that.
second by Lopes. Anything on the discussion?
This also went through planning and was approved there as
Okay.
well.
Can we, just for the sake of helping with some education, just give a brief, I guess, lesson on this and how it, I guess what our actual issue is here?
Sure. So back in 2006, this was, this Weston Marketplace area was created as the Weston Lifestyle Center. So our code had a planned development option. It was an overlay plan development. And that's how this project was first approved. Over the course of the years, the code had changed. In 2015, when we did the code update, we did not have a planned development option. This area just became its own, kind of like the Renaissance. Those were the only two areas that we actually had overlays. In 22, the board put back and the plan commission put back a planned development option into the code. And so this is now being amended underneath that ordinance. So what they're asking to do is Lockery Development and a number of entities underneath him that own the property. They also own the home to the west, which is shown as that retail area.
Zastro, the
The
cement.
old Zastro
Yep.
home, yes. And then they also own the area along the north. So that area along the north was zoned multifamily. There used to be an old home there that they have taken down. So they're asking to add those two areas into the planned development because they have someone who wants to purchase the corner. So they're asking essentially for the development, the planned development change, the general development change to allow for the corner that they've got mapped out there to be broken off via certified survey map. It'll still be part of the plan development, like the other 2 lots that they're asking to add in. And that will all be developed. The developer has been trying to buy up land around there to kind of create and make a lifestyle center. At one point, they had proposed apartments along that back lot to the north. So right now, they're looking at adding that as retail. This is displacing the farmer's market because we lease the farmer's market site for $1 a year. We've done that since 2014. We do not own the site. And so that is going to cause us to have to move it next year because they would like to come back in with a specific implementation plan, which is basically a site plan that'll go through Plan Commission for the new building on the corner. So this is a process to amend their general development plan to rezone those properties and include those in so that they can come back in with specific development plans when they have those ready for the other 2 sites. We have talked to them. Lock Redevelopment still wants to have the farmer's market there, and they have offered up the back part. There's just not enough time for us to develop that in time for the next season. So in order to basically facilitate this, we brought Renee, who has been working with the farmers, gave her a couple different options. We walked that site. It just won't be able to be ready. And we need to talk to the board on, how much involvement we want to have if we want to go and try to get grant funding for. So they did leave that as retail and a public space potential farmers market site. So the farmers market could move back there. But for next year, we need to have a location for it so that the farmers have somewhere to go because they want to sell that land. We don't own it, so we can't keep them from developing that the way that they want to. And the best option was to move it to the grassy area along Alderson at this time. So that's where it will be next year until we can, figure out exactly where we want to move it, if we want to move it, if it works there. We talked about here, we had that discussion. There just isn't enough space to handle parking and the vendors in the front. So that's essentially what it is.
And any discussion or decisions about the actual business being put in on that corner would be for a future.
So they will be required to come back in with a specific implementation plan, which is basically a site plan that will go through the Plan Commission whenever they're ready.
But yeah, the village doesn't dictate which business goes in there, who can do it. The developer, the landowner is the one who has those contracts and negotiations.
Typically, we wouldn't know who is going in there until the specific plan. It would be similar to what it shows there for the other 2 properties. We would just get that it was a future retail space. So they'll come back in. When they amended this before, the building that has Tyne and Cellar it was just a building. And just showed. And so this plan has actually changed a few times over the course of the last 20-some years. The current Duncan building wasn't there. There was actually a building on the corner. So it's evolved over time.
Thank you. Good question. Thanks for your question.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Will the items such as the gazebo, the sunshade, the tables, and I think we've got some benches and stuff there.
Yeah.
Will all that be moving to the new site as well, or at least somewhere else in the interim until we can find a new home?
Yeah, those were
Yes.
village
Okay.
installed items.
Save all those. Okay.
There is a Boy Scout troop going to paint and refinish the gazebo, so that will go to Kennedy Park.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess that comment about it going to Kennedy, I mean, it is for 26 and we hope to find a different spot or, a good permanent spot, but the vendors needed reassurance that we were actually going to have a market for 2026. Otherwise they were maybe going elsewhere. So
There was a comment on the old site, and I believe that developer is, have some things in the works, and it wouldn't be right to put it there or ask to put it there when something could go there, so.
And we would be in a similar situation where we
Yep,
don't.
we have to move it again.
The
Yep,
land, yep.
yep.
And we just had 1,000 people at Kennedy Park for a concert off the square, and I don't think anybody, no one that I am aware of parked at the school, at the administrative building, or at Green Heck Turner that evening. We were able to accommodate that within Kennedy Park.
Vendors are excited. The farmers and the vendors are pretty excited is what I'm, so. Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye.
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 So carried. Resolutions 37, resolution 2025-014. A resolution declaring official intent to reimburse expenditures from proceeds of borrowing. Pleasure.
I move to approve resolution 2025-014.
Motion by Lopes. Is there a second?
I will second it.
Second by Cronin. Any discussion, please? No discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 So carried. 38, resolution 2025-015. A resolution to approve the preliminary plat of Granite Ridge subdivision. Can I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Cronin.
Second.
Second by Zagami. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? So carried. Unfinished business to 39, discussion only on the possible revision to the lease agreement with the town of Weston at 5209 Mestre Street.
It's a discussion only item. I have a brief RFC in the packet. I just wanted to show the board where we were at with that lease agreement to see if there was any comments, suggestions, changes. This will go back to the town board tomorrow. They've talked about it twice. Yep.
Okay. What, 6 o'clock meeting or 5 o'clock?
6:30.
6:30, okay. Okay, so any questions? Any discussion? None?
We feeling like we're on a good track, right track? Okay.
Okay. 40, discussion and or action on potential implementation of an annual fire fee. That is going, what's approved right now is getting the language and then have that come back to the board. Is it gonna come back to finance and HR? I thought too.
So the ordinance wouldn't need approval by finance and HR. They did ask for it to come back to next month. We should have a draft ordinance for the budget workshop meeting on the 22nd. I did, after our last budget workshop meeting, send the draft that I had to Attorney Edie. Jessica and I met with him about our questions as far as doing a portion instead of the entire cost for fire and having that limit, an annual limit put within the ordinance. So I would expect that we would see a draft back on the 22nd.
Okay. Was there any question on the actual formula as far as, I've had some comments on the actual, appraisal of property versus a fee to a structure or to a garage. I know we've had some discussion at board too. Did you have some thoughts on appraisal, or did you not think that would be questioned, or what?
The assessed values, you mean?
Yes.
That was never a discussion. That's something
Okay.
we can. I think we kind of talked about, was it something that other municipalities did not choose that direction because you had to justify your fee?
I don't know if the reason why other municipalities didn't do it that way, but I'm not aware of any that do. I don't know the reasons why, but I'm not.
Right.
We can look at it both ways. We can also see what the attorney says. There's a couple different state statutes that we were looking at. There was one that referenced a fee and one that referenced a service charge. So we're just specifically looking at the state statutes to see where we'd fall and what restrictions are within those statutes if we were to assess a fee or a special charge.
Okay. And attorney will have that ready by the next board budget planning meeting?
We had asked, right?
Okay.
This
All right.
evening was a little quick, but we had asked if it could be ready for the next.
Sounds good. All right.
I
Yes.
mean, I guess I would like to see maybe a an assessed value option, just to see what that looks like. I know when the reassessments were done, a lot of the residents got hit pretty hard and some of the businesses, took a little bit more of a substantial break. And I think maybe that might help level the playing field a little bit. I don't know, but I would like to see both options if that's possible.
Any more?
I guess just other than at the finance, we did talk about looking at other options for funding for 1 year. So
I heard that, yep. Okay. All right, thank you. New business 41, discussion and or action. Let's see, I'm gonna hold the appointments and committees to the next meeting. I wasn't sure what was all gonna happen tonight. So we'll look at that. So if anybody has any comments or questions on that, certainly get a hold of me. And we can discuss.
Yep. What's open right now? Do we have anything open or? Refresh my memory, 'cause I know.
Louis went into a couple different spots to help out.
Okay.
And I think, do we have one spot in HR?
No, we're full on HR.
Yeah, we are, okay. What, and tourism, we're fine, right?
The one issue, the one conflict, if you'll call it, that I know about is community life and public safety with
Mark
trustee
is already on
Kern
there.
joining.
Yep, okay,
We would be having 3.
okay.
But I did reach out just to offer some thoughts about where I could go and.
Well, I don't think 3 would be an issue with 7, because we have 3 on planning commission also.
I just didn't know what
Currently,
the rules
yeah.
were specific
Yeah.
to that one.
Well, I think we want to shy away from, stacking a committee or a board with trustees, correct?
And that one is it's our internal. I would just have to look to see how we structured it in code, in the municipal code. But I don't think it says specifically that it can only be 2.
Okay.
what is that one?
I'm close.
Okay, yeah,
Because Mark's already on there.
yeah.
And then with you and Louis. Okay. So reach out if you have any questions or discussion. All right, 42, discussion and or action on YMCA agreement for staff management and activities for the Weston Aquatic Center through August 31st of 2028.
A motion to approve the agreement with the YMCA for the 2026 to 2028 session at the Aquatic Center.
Motion to approve.
Seasons, I'm sorry.
Motion to approve by Ermling for the 26, 27, and 28 years. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Zagami. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 43, discussion and or action on an agreement with the Marathon County Solid Waste Department for special tipping rate for municipal solid waste disposal for a term of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2032. That will follow the 7-year agreement with Harder's. And if you read in there, it's about half price for tipping fees if you have a contract, and it's obviously not half price if you don't have a contract.
It is currently what our agreement is with Marathon County Solid Waste, and our agreement with Harder's does reflect that the waste would go to the landfill.
Yep. Okay. I'll need a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve by Zagami.
I'll second that.
Second by Kern. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So carried. 44, discussion and or action on an agreement with the Marathon County for responsible units of recycling cooperative waste reduction, reuse, and recycling education program for 2026. It's a pleasure. Move to approve by Zagami.
Second.
Second by Ermeling. Anything on the discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 So carried. Thank you, Jaegers. Thank you. Sharon was a former trustee for many years.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
I just want to confirm, is trustee Jordan on? I haven't been able to hear him. I just want to make sure.
Joe, are you still on?
I'm still here.
You muted?
No, he unmuted.
I'm still here. Can you hear
Are
me?
you still there?
Yes,
I was wondering too.
One more time, Joe.
I can hear you.
Okay. Just been. Thank you.
He won't be able to stay on in closed session though.
Yeah, that's correct.
He knows that,
Yeah,
okay.
He knows that.
Okay, so 44, did I get through on that? Yes?
Yes.
Sam, did I get through on 44? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah, we're in 45.
45, discussion. 45, discussion and or action on plan commission recommendation to approve work order number 21, phase 2 comprehensive plan vision and directions volume update.
I'll move to approve that.
Move to approve by Lopes,
I will second it.
second by Cronin. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. Thank you, Joe. 47, discussion and or action on Weston Avenue, CRX to CRJ, construction services contract amendment.
46.
I'm sorry?
Miss 46.
Oh, I missed, well, let's do that one then. So discussion and or action on Weston Avenue, CRX to CRJ, construction change order number 4.
Motion to approve.
You're just asking for a date, correct?
Correct, yep.
Before the
date.
rock
Yep,
excavation.
because of the rock on Weston.
Yeah, it
So,
delayed the project.
motion to approve by Ermeling,
I'll second.
second by Zagami. Any more in the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 47, discussion and or action on Weston Avenue CRX to CRJ, construction services contract amendment.
This is for Ace.
Move to approve by Lopes.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
I need a second.
I'll second this.
Second by Zagami, now on the discussion. Go ahead.
This is, yes, for rock excavation, he's asking for that, or just the duration of the project?
Yeah, it's for the extra hours for the project, so,
For rock excavation,
yeah, I guess however you wanna look at it, either the rock excavation or the time extension of the construction project.
how many yard they excavate?
I don't know off the top of my head. They should be finishing up this week, but they've been able to start mainline sewer now
Sure.
again.
Yeah.
He's just excavating this, you know?
Yep, yeah, they blasted last week. They finished, they should have finished up today.
What they got at the quantity, let us know the quantity, how much was it?
Yep, I can do that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 48, discussion and or action on Schofield Avenue, Normandy Street to Bird Street, engineering services amendment number 1. Which pleasure?
I'll move to approve
Is that
that
the
one.
design?
Move to approve by Lopes,
Second.
second by Zagami. This was also approved at Public Works, I believe.
Correct.
Yep. Any more on the discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So carried. 50, discussion and or action on Ross Avenue, Metro Drive to Alderson Street, right-of-way services agreement.
49.
49, should we?
Discussion and or action on Schofield Avenue, oh, they both look the same.
I know.
Discussion and or action on Schofield Avenue, Normandy Street to Bird Street, engineering services amendment number 2. Thank you.
I'll move to approve that.
Move to approve by Lopes,
Second.
second by Kern.
And is this an extension of time or just time to get people
Yeah, so
on
when
the
I,
job?
so when I wrote the RFP, so we were getting apples to apples comparisons, I asked for 22. Estimate your construction services over a 22-week period. Actual construction of the road is closer to about a 30 to 32-week period. So, I mean, we essentially asked them to only give us a price for a portion of the project instead of the whole project.
Okay, so we have a motion.
That's a big dollar.
So they're gonna charge what it's gonna take. Yeah.
Correct, yeah, if it's less than that, then we'll get charged less than that.
Okay, no, it doesn't say not to exceed, it just.
So, yeah, so it's a time and materials contract, I guess, if you,
So it could be less than the 89.
correct, yeah,
Okay.
What estimated at 89.
correct.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second on the floor. All those in favor say aye. Aye. So carried. That was 49, number 2. 50, Discussion and or action on Ross Avenue, Metro Drive to Alderson Street, right-of-way services agreement. What's your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve the contract amendment with Becker Hoppy for the Ross Avenue Metro Drive to Alderson Street project for plating and real estate services in the amount of $77,832.
Motion by Ermeling. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Zagami. Now on the discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 51, discussion and or action on East Jelnik and CRX turning movement restrictions. The question here was, well, why don't we see if, let's get it on a motion in a second first.
I move to not restrict turning movements at East Jelinek and County Highway X.
I'll second it.
So do we want this in a negative form or how do we? Parliamentary procedure.
Negative form, it would be preferred you put it in positive and then vote it down, because that would mean no. But the other thing is, if you would take no action, then you would just keep status quo too. But Michael doesn't like that.
Well, I guess we have a previous board meeting where we did vote to include it as a restriction, so I guess that's why it's really here.
And if you read the packet, I'm assuming you all did, there was some work done by the Mountain Bay Metro. The chief looked into some crash studies, and I believe in the last 5 years, 3 of them were on a left or south turn off of Jelnik. And the other 7 crashes weren't in reference to what we're trying to control. So 3 of them, I think, 2 of them in
It was 1 in 23, 1 in 22, and 1 in 21.
Okay, so those 3 are in 3 different years. Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
One accident is too many.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with that.
But the accidents we have on Schofield and X are way over, exceed that. I mean, I see them, so. Yeah.
I would also just add, there was a comment tonight about the farmer's market being at Kennedy Park and this being a safety thing about Jelinek. I just want to make it clear, this is a completely different stretch of
It's a different
Jelinek
side, right?
on the completely other side.
Louis made a comment also, I thought, I don't know where I read it or heard it, maybe at a different meeting, but it will force traffic up into Douglas. It'll force it up, yeah, if we actually do try to control this. It'll definitely, they have to get out. So it's gonna be all forced through the neighborhood, those 2 or 3 streets. It's gonna come out on Douglas, or they're gonna come through the Quick Trip interchange. And yeah, it'd be a little wild.
If you use the motion in the packet, would that be a negative?
That's the motion I made.
That's the motion that Louis made?
Got a
Okay.
second?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a first and a second?
Mhm.
Okay, first and a second. So if you're motion, if you vote in the positive, and yes, you're voting to do it, correct?
So if you vote yes, you're voting to not restrict turning movement.
Okay.
And the problem is there was a motion made at, I think it was at Public Works.
Yes, there was.
Did that ever make it to the board?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we vote, I think the night we vote, chief was in here.
The chief was gonna
No,
do some studying on it.
No,
Chief.
it ended up then getting put into the, like the all-way stop sign discussion at East Jelinek and Von Kennel.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
The other motion or amendment could be to
He thinks it's status quo.
yes, or not to acknowledge, to remove the motion from prior, to change to not accept the motion from the prior meeting.
You said Michael doesn't like that, so.
I just didn't want to leave it as,
By voting in the affirmative, you're voting not to control the intersection. If you want to control the intersection, you vote no. Okay, so all those in favor all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
No. So I believe we have a 6-1 that carried through to not control the intersection. Okay?
I'm gonna leave it at status quo.
Yes, leave it at
correct?
status quo, correct. Okay. 52, discussion and or action on emergency services signing for hospital area. For Marshall Clinic Hospital area. That's the only emergency we.
Well,
What's your pleasure? Did you see that in the packet? I believe there's 3 different wayfinding signs that they want.
I move to proceed with installing 3 additional signs, hospital signs as proposed on Weston Avenue for the Weston Medical Center.
Motion by Lopes to approve, second by Zagami. And on the question, Cronin?
Who's paying for this?
On the road, we have to pay it.
Yeah.
We would.
Is it, I guess my question was, so is it gonna be something like what you see up at Aspires, for example, where they have the lighted towers or?
No,
'cause
I mean, it's
didn't know if
really
it was-
just, it's really just putting those blue.
These are like a
few
wayfinding,
more blue signs out.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify and make sure that we weren't.
like a wayfinding type,
Correct.
yeah.
Would we make
Emergency
these,
services, yeah.
would we make these ourselves?
Yeah, I would more than likely make them ourselves.
John?
Yeah.
Okay.
The discussion that we had at Public Works, there was actually an original proposal with a lot more signs and, or I'm sorry, was it
It
clips?
was like 9. I think it was Public Works. We had 9
Yeah.
signs, I think, at one point. We
We
whittled
narrowed-
it down to 3.
We basically narrowed it down to, if you're coming from the west or the east, there's a direction saying here.
And there's some that are ready too.
Yep,
Yep.
and then we have some understanding that the hospital is gonna do something to also help lead people in as well, but this way it kind of funnels people into the hospital area. So if you turn off of X, there's kind of a gap there where you're looking and you're like, is the hospital down this road? You'll see a sign up ahead, so.
Up by Cheryl Tower, by Cheryl Tire. If we get
On
off of X or get off of X to Weston.
Weston, and then you would see a sign basically saying hospital ahead so that you know, cause I could see in the middle of the night, you turn on Weston Avenue and you're like, where's the hospital? I thought it was over here. Well, us know where it is, but I could see somebody from out of town now.
Come over to Hill.
Well, they should get something to tell people where they're at as far as their clinic, where it's at, because you're looking at emergency. And then you turn it, and you don't realize down the road is where the clinic is.
All right, so any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. 53, discussion and or action on adding streetlights on Weston Avenue, Alderson Street to Birch Street. I believe that's 2 additional or 3, 2?
The ask was for 2 additional. Public Works did vote it down, I guess. The Village of Rothschild voted to add 2 lights. 1 light would be ours, 1 light would be theirs.
It's kind of dark there. So looking for a motion?
So we're gonna add 1, right?
We would be responsible for paying for 1 light and Rothschild would be paying for the other light.
That distance is that's a shared road.
How will we pay for 1 light in there?
All right, so motion to pay for 1 light between Alderson Street and Birch Street on Weston Avenue by Zagami. Is there a second?
I'll second it to get it on the floor.
Second by Cronin. On the discussion.
So can I ask, what was the reasoning that Public Works gave for voting this down?
So correct me if I speak out of turn. The original discussion, this came from the Village of Rothschild. Initially, there was a plan to kind of light that whole corridor. We asked them to come back to us with more ideas on cost and things. We were discussing, do we do solar lighting? Do we do lights attached to the existing power poles? The costs, we were concerned about the costs, and then we were concerned about how much the light's going to overhang onto the roadway. So that and now under this new plan with 2 lights, you're basically gonna come down this road, it's gonna be really dark, and then you're gonna have a patch of light, really dark, and a patch of light. So I think, and I don't wanna speak for the whole committee, but the committee just realized that this isn't gonna make a big enough difference for us to support it. So that's why we.
Okay.
Or is that the 2 light, how tall they are?
They'd be on the,
Is that 30 feet tall?
they'd be a 30-foot mounting height with a 6-foot arm.
So, do we have anything to show the illumination in that area? Is that covered? There's no dark spot between those lights?
There's probably still a dark spot in between the lights. I don't think those get you 100%. I can find it quick.
They got to overlap.
When they we did that road, we're not gonna have to tear up that road or anything, correct?
No, so this is
all
just mounting
made-
to the new
yeah.
poles that got placed in there.
Okay. It's relatively new road.
I read that it is consistent with our streetlight policy as well.
Yeah, I mean, if we were going to light it, we generally, go about a tenth of a mile or so and we stagger the lights, so except in the corridors like Schofield Ave or around the hospital where we have continuous illumination. Like if you look at Ross Ave or some of our other residential streets, it's either at intersections or generally every about 550, 600 feet.
The land from Weston to the north to the Highway 29 is Rothschild.
Correct.
And then to the south is Weston. It's kind of odd when you go through there, you're thinking you're in Weston, but it's really a shared road. And we shared that redevelopment of that road, Weston Avenue there too, so, okay. So hence sharing the lighting.
We
All
do have multi-use paths in the village that are not currently lighted.
Correct. We have like on route across the street here or going down north, we have a multi-use path that's not lit. And then we have other ones, so like just north of there on Weston Ave and Birch Street. Those two paths go through a lit corridor, so it's kind of just however the rest of the roadway is lit, really. We don't have anything specific just for a path.
So how did we come out with, I'm sorry, Mark. How did we come out with just two in there?
That was what the Village of Rothschild brought back to us.
What, you can't just bring it back to us, you got to show us some map, something. Are those like overlapping or we just put the light in there, okay, that's good enough?
I think that's what Rothschild brought back to us is just the,
It showed several, but then it whittled down to two. correct?
yeah.
Yep.
I'll try to see. I mean, we can pause on this. I can bring back more
I
information.
don't think we can vote on it until we see some, I'd like to see some map. How they lay it out and how the illumination in the area, are they overlapping or not? They have to overlap.
Well, that was the request we made of the Village of Rothschild when they came to us with the initial idea. We didn't have a plan. They took this back to their board and I'm not sure about one of their committees, but ultimately their board voted in favor of these two lights and that's why it came to us. And that's why we, as a committee, did not approve it.
Go that way. Can you just call Tim Vigera and just talk to him? And just see what the thought was and you guys probably could figure it out. I mean, we probably can't and their board probably can't, but you and Tim probably could.
Is there any urgency if this were to wait?
I don't
So you
think
can get a
so.
better answer.
Okay.
Yeah, bring it back next
So
meeting.
right now we have a motion and a second on the floor, so you wanna just postpone?
You would have to be, or withdraw the motion in a second.
So we need a withdrawal on the second and withdrawal on the first.
I draw my second.
Withdrawal on the first.
motion.
What's that?
Trustee Sagami had the motion.
Oh, you had the motion, you had the second?
I didn't have this.
I think.
Cronin had.
Yeah,
Cronin, I'm sorry, okay. All right, yes?
yep, I withdraw so you're withdrawing your second, I'll withdraw my
Yes.
first.
Okay.
Or,
Other way.
I'm sorry, other way around.
We'll bring it back in October.
Okay.
Okay, check your notes. All right, let's see, 54 discussion and review, 26 budget. Is that up?
There is a PowerPoint on your
Okay.
computers.
All right,
Should be at the top, just you can run to that tab. This is just brief tonight. We wanted to just talk a little bit about all other funds except utilities, just so things rolling. Bonus points if you know where the picture is taken.
I found all the trees.
It's at the new Wendy's, just saying.
I just didn't want
Well,
to.
you gave it away. You know, I mean, that's it's kind of cheating when you bring it up. What the heck?
So it's our special revenue funds or other funds, not utilities, we just have them listed there. We talked a little bit about these funds at the first meeting too. But refuge and recycling, this is where we're thinking we will. I see the proposed 26 budget there gets a little covered up with the Zoom, but that would this is where we're thinking we're gonna be for 2026. The one big topic that we have to talk about here is kind of where we want that fee to end up for next year. We do have the actual cost for garbage and recycling is the 172, and then we work in the other items that gets taken out of refuge and recycling, which is our recycling events, the shred event, the electronic recycling, and then the yard waste pickup for spring and fall. So we talked between 200 and 210. So we would kind of be looking for some direction from the board on where you'd like that fee to end up next year on the tax bills. Want to add anything to that, Jess?
So in this fund, not only do we get the bills from waste management, which will be hers, we also do our curbside recycling of that, so our fall pickup and our spring pickup. That's a very difficult program to budget for. That's where we don't just go straight, this is what our fees are, this is what we know our expenditures are, because there's some flexibility in that, depending upon, like, say, fall pickup. The leaves started too early, so we sent people up, and then they stalled, and then we send people out till late November. With that, the trucks are going out 3 times. So every hour that's spent on our curbside pickup gets coded to this fund. So that's part of the difficulty. I still am looking at the budget again, that yard waste handling is a little bit too high, $60,000. What you see now, I think, I was talking to Song did the budget, I think she put in $200 as a fee. As you can see with the current way, we are using up $17,000 of fund balance. We are anticipating ending the refuse recycling fund at $167,918. That's just our estimate. Like you said, we got fall pickup to do yet.
How long have we been coding that to, the pickups? Cause I see, I see a lot of times the trucks coming, I almost see spotters come out first to identify. Then you'll see the trucks coming a few days later. So how long have we been coding? So we know, what the last 3 falls have done or the last 5 falls? I know we're
How
doing.
long do we keep track of this?
Well, we're doing grass cutting now. We never used to kind of keep track of how much grass we're cutting.
We've been
Now we do.
keeping track of this since I came, because
Oh,
it's part
okay.
of our refuse recycling grant. On the top, you can see our grant is estimated at $79,000. So we do apply for a grant, and it does include some of our yard waste, and it also includes some of our contract. All those expenditures that go towards the grant.
Okay. So we have some highs and lows and depending upon the weather.
It's
No.
completely weather driven. If it snows, we're gonna be
Temperatures,
cut
snow.
short, and we'll have a budget surplus on that line.
Okay. Okay.
So if you went $233 more than where you are now, if you went the 210, the $44. So I think we're at 167.
This is just preliminary. We can take another look at those numbers and make sure that we adjust them to where we want them.
Okay.
So I just want to clarify, we are expected to use some of our fund balance this year, correct?
Yes, we have received, like, when Waste Management has been charging for the fuel surcharge. It was a pretty significantly more than what we were budgeting for when we first figured out the $167.
So at the 210, do we anticipate having to use fund balance next year or no?
With the current proposed budget, $17,846, but I said again, I wanted to take a look at that $60,000 numbers. I think that could be adjusted down a little bit.
We could put this back on the agenda for the 22nd as a separate action item. So we could put forth a number, but we wanted to present the information. If we let it, boil a little bit, we could bring that back for the 22nd too.
Okay.
TIF 1, do you want to cover TIF 1?
Sure.
Page.
So this is TIF District 1, and it's total draft and preliminary because I am unsure what Weston Avenue is gonna come in at. So that large transfer out of $7.6 million in the estimate column, that is going to fund the Weston Avenue construction. It is an estimate right now. I'm not sure where it's gonna end up. The lease expense to CDA, that's a given. That's our debt payment for our CDA revenue lease bond. The grant are grants that we receive from our economic development agreements. And then economic development administration, that includes salaries and legal fees and some of our other fixed costs for the TIF. The biggest change you see for the proposed budget is the property tax increments. We're estimating it dropping down to 3.6. With that decrease, it'll be a little bit interesting to see if we will be closing it next year, if next year will be our last year of increment or not. Once we get to January and get our final construction costs in, we'll be able to see where we're at.
Okay.
And then the CDA TIF one is the debt on TIF one.
Yeah, we're required to keep a separate fund. It's kind of like, I'll call it a little game. So we need to, the CDA needs to charge TIF District 1 lease payments. So the CDA can forward the principal and interest payment to the debt service fund. It's something that has to do with our state statutes and the way that we're organized with that way. The CDA lease revenue bond that we did take out in 2017 was a 20-year lease revenue bond. We are unable to borrow any other way for that type of developments.
Questions? Okay.
TIF number 2, we are estimating a 0 increment this year. We will get our intergovernmental revenues, which is our personal property tax aid and our exempt computer aid. That's roughly 124,000. It should cover the administration fixed fees that are in that fund. But we are anticipating a decrease because of the construction of Schofield Avenue. We'll have to see how we want to make that negative go away. We are able to keep the TIF open till 2031 to collect more increment and get the balance to 0.
But that wouldn't affect how TIF 1, as far as closing, if TIF 1 has to borrow money to TIF 2 or.
Well, that's where we can talk about it. No decisions need to be made before year end, so we'll get to see how both construction projects end up,
Okay.
the final numbers. And hopefully the TIF 2 is not as negative as it appears now, because it would be hard to recoup. My estimate for the 2027 increment, my guess is half of 758,000. That's my guess. I don't have any numbers for 2027.
Okay. CDA TIF 2?
The CDA TIF revenue bond for TIF number 2 is paid off in 2025, so this fund will disappear.
And the Weston Aquatic Center?
These are preliminary numbers. I don't know if Sean got a chance to look at these yet. So we're anticipating them to be adjusted a little bit yet.
We do have some pool revenues that will come back yet, as far as some billings that we put out there. And there'll be expenses through the end of the year, just due to electricity, gas bills, et cetera, water bills. So there will be additional expenses yet, so.
And it's just a given the 40,000 from tourism, correct? Every year?
There's-
Room tax and
Room tax,
40
yeah.
and 40 from levy.
Yep.
And we just want to make sure that now that we've approved the YMCA budget, that those numbers are adjusted for next year too.
I believe we looked at that, but part of the YMCA budget, that's the administration. We need to look to see what we anticipate the actual wages going up, if they're going to be receiving a wage increase for the lifeguards.
Okay.
Room tax or estimates for the next year. Again, we just note that 40,000 does go into the aquatic center. That 36,000 that's in there as the fund balance, we did make the motion to transfer that to the Kennedy Park project, but we just haven't completed the transfer yet because we haven't needed the funds at this moment, but.
Is that 40,000 goes to Quarter Center for what, repair?
It goes for operations. Goes
Yes, for operation.
So the other financing uses and transfers that go, 40,000 goes to our aquatic center, and the balance of it goes to our capital improvements program. This is an option. A lot of municipalities do use room decks to supplement their operations. It's something we could reach into if we are desperate, and it's just another source of revenue for the village. A lot of municipalities do not use this because in years like COVID, that's a big hole in your operations budget if those revenues don't actually produce.
We're back to pre-COVID numbers already.
Yes, we are. Yep.
Civic and Social and Park Trust. Civic and Social is farmers market, license fees, revenues, and the cost for running the market. You can see there the very small fund balance there at the end of the year that we're projecting for 2026. Then the scholarship fund, Jess had pointed out to me that we do have a scholarship fund and we've given scholarships in the past, and we might be at a place now where we are projecting that $6,000 for next year that we could put forth and do some additional scholarships for next year, which I think would be nice.
Okay, could you explain why we have the farmer's market? I hear this all the time that we're using tax dollars for the farmer's market. Could you please explain where your 18,719, what that entails? Is there revenues that are offsetting that? Or are we taxing the residents for that? I've heard so much on it and I don't want to misquote.
There's no levy in the farmer's market, no levy.
That's what
So we did an interview with Channel 7 today too, so that will also be part of the newscast. There's no levy in the farmer's market. The license fee that the vendors pay, and then we sell the tokens that people can turn in. So when customers turn in the tokens to vendors, then vendors turn in the tokens to us, and we reimburse the vendor because we took the money for the token. The market manager on site that helps facilitate can charge those tokens, or you could pay cash for the tokens. Most likely, people came to the farmer's market and they didn't have any cash on them, so they charged $20 worth of tokens, and then they take the tokens and purchase from the vendors. But the number is always slightly different because just like gift cards, you might spend 10 tokens and save 5, and then you might forget that you had the 5 and you might spend them the next summer. Or you might forget that you had the 5 or lose the 5, right? So the fees that come in for the vendors, and then the selling of the tokens, and then if we get any donations towards the market.
Right, but I tried to explain to someone that it's self-funded. I mean, it's between the license that we charge and the, all the different stuff that it pays for itself. But I wanted it to go out there to the people that I keep hearing it all the time. Why are we funding it? And we're not, but thank you.
But I can follow up with the expenditures. In that expenditure number that you have up there, the 18,000, what makes that up is we do pay a market manager, or we have a market manager budgeted. That's $3,700 we have. And we do use those license fees, the 8,200, to help offset that. And then other contracted services, we rent the toilets that are there. And we have postage, we do some budgeted advertising. But the big expense down there is the 12,000. That's our budgeted expenditures for the tokens. In 2024, we spent 11,788 for the tokens. And then I should explain the tokens. This is when we pay the vendors out, not necessarily buy the tokens, but this is when the vendors turn their tokens in, we give them money, we send them a check. And that's what I refer to as that $12,000 or last year actual 11,788.
But we get that back.
Yeah, that's the revenue on top is the 12,000, and then in the expenditures on the bottom, I didn't have it separated, but that 18,000 includes 12,000 of token reimbursement.
Right, but what people don't seem to understand is that we're spending it, but we're getting reimbursed for that expenditure. So we are not,
No levy.
no levy. Thank
We
you.
can show greater detail, maybe next time when we talk about this. That's a really condensed summary. I do have a detail which really further explains what we spend those funds
Well,
on.
it's, I'm convinced, I'm not always sure that, the residents are understanding why we have it in the budget if it's not part of the levy. And the thing it doesn't always show is the revenue offsetting it. We're showing the expenditure, but the revenue doesn't come in, that's in another, whatever. Thank you.
We also just have the park trust up there also, and the breakdown and the designated fund balance for specific parks.
So for people that are not familiar with this, we do, when new homes are built, we charge a fee for parks. So that is one of that public charges for services, that's what that number represents. And then the village is able to use those revenues to improve the parks in the area.
Again, I know it's kind of fast, but just keeps us moving forward on budget process.
Okay. Let's see, do we want to,
Oh, I forgot where I was.
do, any attorney referrals? Any administrator referrals?
I have one.
Okay.
I would like to see the location of the farmer's market for stuff at the next meeting.
Okay.
You want that for the 22nd of the regular board meeting in
October. 20th.
I think it is, it's not gonna, I think October would be fine.
Okay.
Okay, any more? Remarks from trustees?
All I would say is it's been a couple meetings in a row where we've kind of engaged with people during public comment. I think it's important that we just remain quiet, let people give their public comment. We can respond during our time, but let people give their time. People are gonna say what they're gonna say. We can't control that, but just give them their time. Move on.
I'll do a better job. Thanks, sir. Mark, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Remarks?
So far.
Isn't it great? All right. Barb?
No, just, welcome aboard. I'm glad we've got a full board again and, I won't say anything. I will be absent at our next budget meeting. No, the budget meeting.
Budget meeting, okay. Shane?
Just the budget, the funding from the state. Supervisor Yi sent that to me, then I forwarded to you and Jamie.
Right.
And then the other thing was, he made a comment, said, I didn't know that, but he said, Marathon County gave $40,000 to Village of Weston for a boat landing in Yellow Bank Park. And that was through his committee and they have all.
I thanked him for that. I know that too. But they had extra, or I guess he just allocated more money towards that project, correct? Or did he not?
That committee gets 75,000 a year to
Yeah.
allocate, and they just chose to do 40 towards our project. Yep.
Okay, good.
So I thank you and.
Yeah, no, that was
I said,
excellent.
keep doing it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Steve?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I just want to reiterate, there was a comment made here tonight about a social media post about the farmer's market, and I would like to second that. I thought it was very poorly written. And needed a lot more clarification in regards to what was going on there, because the comments that I read were not at all factual in regards to what was happening. So that's one thing. The second thing is I would like to address the board on because this has come up a couple times now and we have a person in the audience that refuses to hear it. So I'm gonna address the board and just let you know why I'm sitting on the SAFER, or why I'm currently a firefighter for SAFER. So back in fall of last year when that post went out?
Yep.
We were just in the middle of having our discussions about staffing. And one of the things that was floated at one of those meetings was to go out for paid per call firefighters, meaning that people that only show up when there's an emergency. I was one of 12 people that applied. Ultimately, that came down to, how many was it? 4?
We're 4, yep.
4. 3 of them decided to take part-time positions with the department. I am now the only one left. The only person who stepped up to the plate to help our community when nobody else did. Not anybody else sitting in this room, except for the firefighters and the paramedics that are sitting in this room. I stepped up to help. You, if I'm not mistaken, ran that past the attorney at SAFER. Am I correct in that?
I would have to double check. I believe so, but I would have to double check. I know this has been talked about. A similar situation has been talked about in a different municipality that I attend meetings at, and the comments at those meetings from their board and from their legal counsel was that as long as the individual does not have decision-making power within the department, that it should not be an issue. I'm not an attorney, I'm just.
So I just want the comments to know that my intentions were solely good. That's it. Help out when something happens and help is needed. So that's my comment.
I don't have much else to say other than I stand by supporting that decision and supporting you as a firefighter and training. And there's a lot more out there that isn't being told by someone that sits at that table every month. And writing checks to his business and approving checks to his business for thousands and thousands of dollars while he was sitting on the Mountain Bay Metro Oversight Committee for the police department. He should have recused himself. I actually questioned him when he questioned me while he was still on the board, how that was not a conflict of interest. I said, it's not a conflict of interest. We checked into it. I thought you were going to talk about your conflict of interest and you should have been recusing yourself for the thousands of dollars that you authorized while on the Mountain Bay Metro board. But that never gets brought up, and it's a shame. I'm actually embarrassed I'm bringing it up right now because I have promised so many people that I'm just going to shut my mouth and take the crap every month, but it's damn hard to take the crap. It really is. And it's a real shame when I see other residents buying into it and it becomes popular. And it's really hard to listen to the lies, the name calling and the smearing. And I think I do a heck of a job on here. I'm not always right. No way. I'm learning all the time. But my intentions are good and I love this community. And it's just really disheartening to see someone trying to tear it apart so bad. It's shameful. With that, I'm gonna finish this with remarks and I apologize for just doing what I did. Next meeting dates is Monday, September 22nd, immediately following the Parks and Recreation meeting. That is a budget follow-up. Monday, October 6th is immediately following CLIPS committee meeting. And Monday, October 20th is our next regular board meeting. And
On the 22nd, just before we depart that, so Parks has moved to 4. That seems to be working well.
Correct.
Would you like that meeting on the 22nd to be 5 or 6 o'clock?
I'm not gonna make it.
6 is good for me.
Okay, we'll keep that at
Okay.
6. Jess, will you convey that to Sonia?
Okay, so that'd be good. All right, so, yes, we're good?
Good.
So motion to move to closed session to Wisconsin Stat 19.85, Parent 1, Parent E, deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public property, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session with consideration of property purchase and as a TID expense. Also, continued in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Stat 19.85, Parent 1, Parent G, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved to wit. Wisconsin Transparency Project, Open Records Request Correspondence. Allow me to motion.
Motion to go into closed session.
Motion to go into closed session by Ermeling. Second by Zagami. Roll call, please.
Maloney,
Yes.
Cronin,
Yes.
Ermeling,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Jordan is gonna have to be excused.
but he can motion to go into
Okay.
closed session.
Okay.
Jordan,
Yes.
Vogt, Sarao,
Yes.
Sagami,
Yes.
and Kern.
We are now in closed session.
Just real
Give
quick,
me a little bit to just,
staff
Yep.
can be in here for this, I think, can they not?
Jamie?
it is the board's choice on staff that's staying.
I'm fine with staff. Yep. Yep, I'm fine.
Second for me. You're good.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Michael. Is there any action or motions to address an open session from the closed session? I don't believe so. So,
One more to adjourn.
motion to adjourn by Zagami. Second by Kern. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So carried. We are adjourned at 9:02. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone.